Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news with a summary of what's happened this week for the 3rd of June with roadmap updates, calling all devs, a Squadron 42 focused around the verse, scanning focused, reverse the verse and more. We'll start with roadmap and 3.2 updates. In the newsletter, there was some hype. We have exciting news this week as development officially moves to focus on Alpha 3.2, with features and improvements making their way into the early stages of PTU implementation. It's basically confirming that the Evocati PTU build should be out pretty soon, and that's the early 3.2 build. Obviously, 3.2 will be live at the end of June. Some new tasks have been added for the shopping kiosks and group system. I'm hoping that one of these is going to be ships being purchasable with Alpha UEC, though that does seem more unlikely now. Other tasks have made solid progress with 3.2, including bind culling getting some tasks completed. A lot of people were worried about that particular feature stagnating and not much being completed on it in the last few weeks. However, that is now changing. The Avenger has been split into each of its variants on the roadmap too, so it's now listed as the Warlock, Stalker and Titan. There aren't any other delays or additional features making it into 3.2's roadmap this week. 3.3 had also made a bit of progress on a variety of its planned features, but the rest of the roadmap is pretty much unchanged. There are no new features or anything like that. Nothing else has slipped. This week's sneak peek is more of a preview of the modular hangars that will be making their way into the game in 3.3 in September, or at least starting to be implemented then. Let's go through a quick summary of the week's shows. Calling all devs, they answered a few questions. Name tags and player IDs will be back in the short term. In the future, you're going to have systems for scanning and finding out character names and info, as well as sharing locations with friends and parties and that sort of stuff, sharing your information with them easily. But the reason name tags and player IDs aren't in the game at the moment is because planets and they're not flat and there was bugs. But in the short term, we should be having those back. The Moby Glass will be easier to read in extremes of light and dark. Modular ship parts and mechanics are in the backlog, so this is like modules for the Caterpillar being in game and being able to use the Retaliators modules. They're going to be worked on in the future. They're just not coming this year realistically. They're in the backlog. They will be worked on. Ships can be cleaned. They will get dirty over time. In Around the Verse, this was more of a Squadron 42 update, though most of its updates can also be applied to the progress of Star Citizen's persistent universe as well. FPS weapons are getting tweaked with recoil spread and stability, and they're starting to look better as well. AI, they looked at formation flying, fighter and gunship behaviours with turrets targeting ships, and all the targeting they have is based on threat and that sort of stuff. And the NPCs work out threat based on lots of different things, including a personal bias and what ship they're using and what can cause them the most trouble and DPS and that sort of stuff. Gas tech and spacescaping with a focus on the Coil and the Odin system has also allowed them to create very beautiful nebula and cool pockets of gas and stuff. That's going to be in the PU as well, but they are making the that gas tech, those nebula, that's kind of volumetric clouds. They're making that look very, very cool in the game. Chemline facility props and environments have seen a lot of work as well. Capital ship distress states have been made for ships getting battered in combat, basically. The Bengal has had a lot of work finished with it as well, including a brig being finalised. FPS AI combat behaviours from trained to untrained NPCs have been worked on a lot. They will react differently in combat and with cover based on their level of training. The less trained an NPC is, effectively, the more skittish and erratic their behaviour becomes, whereas more military trained NPCs will be very good at using cover effectively, keep their profiles low and that sort of stuff, and work better as groups. Scanning was talked about as well, pings being sent out to detect items that aren't in your passive radar range. Range to an object and their signature will decide if you detect it or not. Stealth is very much a thing. Mining will use scanning and the ping system in 3.2 to detect minables, and then you'll be able to find more info on them by just hovering over them. It will slowly give you more and more data. Mining will only be available to the Prospector in 3.2. The Eclipse Stealth Bomber is coming in 3.2 as well, and we were given a closer look at that and some of its visuals. Reverse the Verse continued to look at scanners and radars. Some of the extra information they covered in that was that there are different types of scanner giving different info and for various uses. Basically, there are no plans for scanner jamming. Signal strength to distance is the basic model for scanning. The closer you are, the easier something is to detect. You'll be able to see how low or high your signatures are. You can ping and scan at various predefined widths and lengths. Scanning can be performed on individual characters too, to see info on them or their weapons and potentially inventories as well. Ships will be able to share their scan data with others in real time, as well as the potential to help a single ship scan. This month's RSI sub-free ship is the Aegis Reclaimer. If you are a subscriber to RSI on the website and Star Citizens, then you should have that ship to fly all month. It is currently the biggest ship in-game that is flyable. We should be seeing a monthly report next week as well, going over what the studios have been working on for the last few weeks and what they're now focused on. We'll get a summary up of that as soon as we can. I'll get up a channel update and some stuff I was looking forward to from E3, potentially some other stuff I may be doing this month. A few people have asked me to comment on the $27,000 Legatus pack that CIG are selling, which contains pretty much all the ships currently conceived of in-game. CIG have made some comments on this as well, which we will quickly summarise. This pack is basically a refresh of the old Completionist package, and has been asked for by a while by some of the more invested backers. For example, I believe Clifford aka Miku has purchased one. Separate to that, the pack allows orgs and other backers to consolidate large fleets. From CIG and my point of view, it gives consumers another way to back the game at very high-end levels if they have a windfall or large amounts of spare money or something. Any media attention about this has been purely about the shock value of $27,000 on DLC. It's not even DLC, to coin a phrase, it's macrotransactions, but that's more semantics. I am sure most people could find a better use for $27,000. Almost certainly, but if I had everything I wanted and I had a load of money in the bank and gaming was my sole hobby, then maybe I might back the game of my dreams. I don't recommend anyone really buys anything over an Avenger Titan, personally though, because all those ships will be obtainable in-game, and I want to play the game at all levels. I don't want to skip anything, and I think the exposure that Star Citizen has gained with the shock press will actually just lead to more people looking at the game. Some of those people will become backers, some people will have opinions, and at the very least increase keywords and talking about Star Citizen, which increases its exposure even more. But the more opinions about the game, the better. I mean, I know some of those opinions are going to be trolly, I know some of those opinions are going to be a loud minority, but I mean, all information is good information from my point of view. People are very much entitled to their opinions, and I very much enjoy listening to others. Yes, there are trolls and edge cases in any community, loud vocal minorities, but some people that just see things differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. I believe the game will speak for itself when it eventually comes out, and that this clearly longer development cycle should be worth the wait. And if for any reason there are delays and that sort of stuff, I do want to see a better product because of it. I'm fine with waiting as long as we get a great product. I would not be interested in Star Citizen as originally pitched. I only got involved in 2014 making content and covering the game in earnest after the scope of the game had expanded to something I was actually really interested in. However, we should make sure that we keep pressure on Foundry 42 and CIG to make sure their game is not pay to win in the future, as pay to advantage has been a big part of how this game has been funded and wouldn't have been funded to this level and scope otherwise. And I'm sure that we will be able to make sure that that is the case. However, it's just something to bear in mind. Please check out the link in the description for signposting with all of the week's videos and more. For those of you looking to further support the channel more than you have been already, links to Patreon are below. However, just feedback and comments really help. Ideas for videos and stuff that you'd like to see, questions that you'd like answered, all that sort of jazz, chuck them in the comments below. This month's featured spotlight is the Daymar Rally, and they're giving away a rally pack of a Tumbril Cyclone and an Aegis Vulcan, which coincidentally is all the hardware you need to enter the rally. The Daymar Rally is an annual community organised event which is set to have its inaugural endurance race on the 27th of January 2019. There will be 3 divisions over a 300-kilometre course set on Crusader's moon, Daymar. It is an in-game event, and I am very much up for these. A 4-person crew can sign up their team now with a ground vehicle and support vehicle. More info, the sign up and complete rulebook can be found on daymarrally.com. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that rally pack though is be subscribed to my channel and comment on any of my videos throughout June. 1 per video. Each video gives you another chance to win. Also, I'm working with Shadow, which is a cloud-based subscription gaming PC service that gives you an alternative to upgrading, but also as a gaming PC anywhere. I'm trying to make the service as Star Citizen friendly as possible, but please check that out again in the description below if you're interested, and using the promo code BoredGamer will give you a discount too if you decide that you like it. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.